in that house that he can remember his first Sabres Day? Come on, historians. Huh? Okay, think about it. We're going to come back to it. We're going to come back to it. We're going to continue with our program. Well, y'all marinate on that for a minute, inshallah. Okay, at this point, inshallah, we're going to bring forth our good brother, Brother Roderick Bashir. He is the trustee. He is a trustee of the village of Hazel Crest, Illinois. He is a co-chair on the Illinois State Board of Investment, a voting director of International Foundation of Employees Benefit Plans, the former vice president of Service Employees and International Union. We'd like to bring forth Brother Roderick Bashir.
Brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I am a witness that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah alone. And I am a witness that Mohammed, to whom the Quran was revealed, is his servant and messenger and the seal of the prophets. Happy Savior's Day. And I think this topic that we're talking about today is very appropriate. You can see it behind me here. A new beginning for a new people, New Africa in America. That is a very appropriate topic. But before I make a couple of comments regarding that, let me ask you, as the brother read some of the things that I'm involved in, I want to ask you, how many of you are involved in politics in any way? Well, let me share with you, and I think I may have shared with you once before, what one of my mentors said to me when I was asked that question. He said to me that you're not legally born until a politician signs your birth certificate. And you're not legally dead until a politician signs your death certificate. So every hand in the house should have gone up, because you're involved in politics from the time you get here to the time you leave. It's just a matter of whether you're going to act on politics or have politics act on you. And we prefer to act on politics, because otherwise the alternative is not very promising, and you can see that in light of what's happening with our president, who some refer to as a subhuman mongrel. And I don't think they realize that when they call him that, they're actually talking to us as well. And it's a very bad situation. But that doesn't mean politics is bad. You can actually practice clean politics. And one of the reasons I'm involved in local politics is because there are a number of reasons, but one of the main reasons is that you can actually effect change without giving up your moral base. And that's important to me, and that's important to all of us as Muslims, because you will be challenged given today's environment, given the issues that are prevalent, what they called marriage equality, gambling, games of chance, struggling communities trying to find revenue, and oftentimes people who don't have the moral base that we have will look to the first thing that's available to try to bring in revenue for these struggling communities, and we certainly can't afford that as Muslims. I want to talk a little bit about the community that I serve in. It's a very small community just south of here called Hazel Crest, Illinois. The community there has about 14,000 residents. The geographic area is about 3.5 square miles. It's about 80% residential homes, small portion of apartments, and a very small degree of public housing. So we are essentially a residential community, and most of our income is generated by property taxes. So for those of you whose hand didn't go up, when you see your property taxes going up, then you know that politics is acting on you, because you don't have an advocate that's saying, well, look, these property taxes are getting too high, and we have to find a way to deal with them. I want to ask another question. we're in the Chicago area, and in Chicago we have a form of government different from the form of government we have in my community. Actually, Illinois has sanctioned 3 forms of government. The strong mayoral form of government, well, we won't call it the mayoral form of government, the managerial form of government, and the commission form of government. It's important to know what form of government you live under in your own community, because it really makes a difference on how you proceed and how you practice politics in that particular community. It just so happens that the Illinois Supreme Court outlawed the commission form of government. It's unconstitutional. But in Chicago, let me ask you, what form of government do we have in Chicago? Do we have the mayoral form of government? And by that, there are 2 categories, strong mayor and weak mayor. Or do we have the managerial form of government in Chicago? Anybody want to venture a guess on that? You're correct. Do we have a strong mayor or weak mayor form of government in Chicago? Constitutionally, it's a weak mayor form of government. It's a strong mayor because this particular mayor, where you have a automatic structure, you have 50 aldermen. The previous mayor appointed about 26 of them, which is the majority. So it becomes a strong mayor form of government, but constitutionally it's a weak form of government. In my community, we have a managerial form of government, whereby the citizens in their wisdom in 1979 or so decided that they wanted to take politics out of the running of local government in my community. So they put a referendum on the ballot to create the managerial form of government, whereby you have a mayor or a president and 6 trustees that are elected at large. They represent the whole community. Each of them have an equal vote, but it is the majority of that board that appoints the village manager, who is responsible for the administration of government. And that person is over the fire department, the police department, the public works department, and the administration. So if you're in a managerial form of government or a strong or weak mayor form of government, you need to know that, because if you don't, if you plan to get more involved, then you'll be at a loss without understanding the form of government you're under. That's important to us. We have to make sure that we have a clear understanding of how we effectuate politics. I am not absent-minded about the fact that it is Imam Mohammed, may Allah be pleased with him, who has influenced my politics. And I am also conscious of the fact that, given the role that I play, that I am representing what he stood for, and I'm representing this community. I am very conscious of that, and I thank Allah for that. And in some ways there are a number of roles that I play. I may have been able to play additional roles if it wasn't for that position that I take. But I am completely satisfied and happy with the position I take, because what we represent is a legacy that we cannot let fail. We must continue with the legacy of our leadership. In 1975, when I entered college, I took my shahada under your father, Brother Wallace, in 1975. And I remember him saying, as I was on my way to college, and others, he said, don't forget that these colleges are not the fountain of knowledge, and don't forget to come back and make a contribution to your community. And that has stayed with me, and I'm sure that stayed with a number of you as well. I'm not going to take up much more time. However, we are going to have to become more involved in our political situation, particularly at the local level, where you can effect change. Let me give you a quick example. For example, if you own a series of dry cleaners, and all of a sudden taxes go up on your dry cleaning business, which is going to have some effect on you. In Springfield, in Illinois, and in other capitals, they're making decisions on how to get revenue. But if you don't have a voice for you in Springfield speaking against a sales tax increase, perhaps, that's going to affect your local business, then you can't really blame anybody for that, because the power to effectuate change is in our hands. We can effectuate change if we organize with each other and have a unity of purpose when we approach politicians. And that's what politicians are for. They're there to help make the quality of your life better. But if you don't use that, or I don't use that, then we just subject to the winds of chance, and gains of chance are not productive. So with that, thank you very much, Brother Wallace. I appreciate your work, those who are assisting you, and I appreciate the opportunity to come back from time to time to just have a few words. And again, I'm cognizant of the mission that has been assigned to me. And all of us have a legacy that is important, and you have a mission that has been assigned to you as well. So with that, thank you so much. Happy Savior's Day, and I look forward to a productive discussion and enlightenment from our panelists on how we go forward from here. Again, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Brother Roger Bashir, for those insightful words. You know, I got to try to be a politician too with this mic. Got to manage the time, you know. Alhamdulillah. All right, anybody figure out that question yet? What was the last question we were on? What was the capacity? Anybody figure it out? Okay. 30 people, there it is. All right, alhamdulillah. Somebody, okay, all right. What was the name of the street? Nope. What was the street the house was on? What was the name of the street? Give me a hand. No. Okay. Okay, y'all. All right, let's get them juices flowing. This is Savior's Day. That's what this is about. Celebrating our legacy and our past.